So the second question is, many people believe that so many issues that couples face today in their different marriages are mostly caused by the men. That is the belief of some people. They believe that, oh, all the challenges people face in their marriages today is usually stemming or coming from the man, the husband of the house, the father of the house, because they believe that we have more men who don't want to take responsibility, yet they want to enjoy the full benefit of marriage. They want to enjoy the full benefit of marriage. So why is it necessary that men should begin to discharge their role as a husband and as a father in the home, rather than
Well,
pushing it to the woman?
I hear you. I do not think that men are the problem a lot of times in marriage. I think it's both ways. I've seen foolish women as much as I've seen foolish men.
Yeah,
I've
true.
seen confident, ignorant men as I've seen confident, ignorant women. I've seen pretty drifters, beautiful, empty minds. I've seen handsome fools. I've seen 6 foot tall, broad chested, empty minds, ignorant, all the same. No gender is excluded from the clause of foolishness if we surrender ourselves to it. And no gender is also exempted from the cover of wisdom if we open ourselves to it. You know. And so, what I know is that marriage at any level takes two, such that if one party is really right, just one party being right, then it will be difficult for that marriage to crash. A lot of times, what you have is, maybe the initial action coming from one party, and then the second party also wrongly reacting to that. And two wrongs cannot make a right. Somebody starts it, no doubt, but somebody then amplifies it, as well. And then, there is a way you can slap me, and then I slap you back, and then you forgot that you slapped me first. So you slap me, and I slap you, and you are asking me, why did you slap me? Like, you forgot that I slapped you first. You know what I call that? When people are incapable of honest self-evaluation. A lot of people are not capable of honest self-evaluation. So they can't really tell themselves when they are off the mark, but they interpret their justice with their pain. So they are right when they feel pain. They are right when they feel hurt. So because they cry, they feel the pain. And women cry more easily. So, and they interpret their pain as the voice of justice. Men don't cry as much as women. Not that that is their design, but that is what they have accepted. But they internalize too much things because they don't express themselves like the women do. And they react from that place and cause a lot of trouble for everybody in the home as well. So I do agree that there's so much that men have to do as there's so much women have to do. But I'll zero in on some basic things that men will have to understand. First of all, nobody was, most of the time, the whole agenda of commitment in marriage began from the man, most times, because he went to woo the girl. He is the one that went to toast the girl. You see, permit me to use the word toast. That's what we used to say when we were much younger. He's the one that wooed the lady. Now, listen to this. Part of the error is that society does not train a man to be truthful to his wife. Society trains the single man to woo a girl, not by being himself with the girl, but by doing the exact opposite. Find out everything that the girl likes and model it. That is how to get to the heart of a woman. That is what 99.9% of men have been told. You want a babe? You want a girlfriend? Find out what she likes. She likes flowers. She likes to go out. She likes restaurants. She likes gifts. She likes to talk. She likes somebody talking. She likes music. Whatever she likes, regardless of what you like, find out what she likes and act the part. And act the part. So from day one, the man's already in deception. From day one. Meanwhile, the girl is receiving the man's action as the authenticity of who the man is. Meanwhile, it's just branding. Because the guy has been told exactly what the system is for getting access to the heart of a woman. And so he brought the flowers, took her out, gave her everything she likes, and all of that. But that is not who the man is. That is what the man has to do to get to the heart of the woman. You see? And then that is how it happens 99.9% of the time. Ask any man. 90% of the time, the man is doing what he has to do to gain access to the heart of the woman. Even if that is not what he is, even if that is not who he is, even if that's not what he does normally. You find somebody who is not romantic at all, buying cards, writing poems, doing candlelight dinners, doing all of those things, kneeling down to propose. And then he gets married, he remembers that he's an African man, we don't kneel down to propose. You see what I'm saying? And then he gets into the marriage, and then he suffers relapse. He suffers terrible relapse. And then he's back to who he was before the wooing. And the woman is too shocked, few years jaded, completely out of reach and not understand. Why is this man changing? Oh, my husband has changed. No, men don't change. They are revealed. You see, he has always been like that. He just conditioned himself to fit the requirements for passing this exam of coming into your head and coming into your heart. Now the exam is passed. You want him to continue to read for the exam? He's not going to continue to read for the exam. He has passed the exam already. He already has the result. So he's not going to study overnight again. No more candlelights, no more gifts, no more going out, no more flowers, no more cards, no more poems. He has suffered a terrible, almost existential relapse, right? To come down to who he is. And then he begins to malfunction from that place. It is from that place that you now define his credibility as a husband or as a father. You see, when the foundation is faulty, what can the righteous do? The foundation is already faulty. To fix that, we have to go back there. So a lot of times, that's where the problem is. The assumptions that produce the union in itself is faulty. And I know determination is not a strategy. Determination is not a factor of production as well. Clarity is what we need. You can't be determined on the wrong way. You will get to the wrong destination, right? So men will have to rise up to be more true. I think what really needs to go viral is for people to learn to be true to themselves, to be true to themselves enough to act on the integrity and the truth of their conscience, and to be ready to suffer loss all day long if gaining means the compromise of their authentic self, right? Because that is what should be believable. So you don't have to edit yourself or babysit yourself because you want to gain attention anywhere. How much more for a woman you plan to live the rest of your life with? Because all of those things come back to impact on the marriage, to impact on the children. So on many levels, that is the root of the problem. We can't keep cutting the leaves and expect the tree to disappear. No. If we don't want the tree, we have to go to the roots. Most of the time, that is the root. There's so much more I can expand on. The idea of love and romance. It's another conflict, particularly for the African man. Romance, as we know it, is not African, it's foreign. If you give me a million flowers, to me, you're not giving me trees. I don't know what you are giving me. I don't know. People will smell it. They said, I've smelled and smelled. I've perceived. I don't know what they are doing. You see, it doesn't work for me at all. But you see, I'm authentic enough not to demand it from anybody. And I'm authentic enough not to offer that to anybody. I never give any, I can't give my wife flowers because I don't know what I'm doing. The flowers doesn't make any difference to me. So it's just trees. So why should I give that to my wife? So a lot of people don't understand what that meant. And so love language in itself, the research that produced the five love languages, it was not done in Africa. How many Africans were interviewed? How many African fathers were interviewed to define the five love languages? I know some other love languages that are not on that five. Food, for example. Food is a love language to some Africans, to a lot of Africans. Food is a love language. And that is why you see them falling in love with a house help. And you wonder where it's coming from. You see a man eating from a secretary in the office, and his heart just goes there. He doesn't know why. The secretary is not as beautiful as the wife. But you see, when you know that food is a love language, you will control where you eat, you see. But when you don't know, you will eat anywhere and break and crack anywhere. And the people don't understand. Even you don't understand why your heart is going after this person. There are a lot in love languages that has to be understood. But the bottom line is, even how we handle conflicts, society has wrongly fed the man with the wrong idea of partnership. The partnership we understand is that somebody has to be superior and the other one has to be inferior. How to work together intelligently as agenda owners within a given community or within a given commitment is still what a lot of people need to understand. But these are symposium discussions. I don't know if we have today to trash that, but yeah, I've said this many times, my sister. Many times I've said to people, if you insist on perfect behavior to define your peace, you will never have peace. You see, the man who can supply perfect peace, perfect behavior rather, has never been born, will never be born. The woman who can supply perfect behavior has never been born and will never be born. Peace in marriage is in spite of perfect behavior. And I've said to people time and again, peace is superior to justice. If what you want is justice, remember that you can have your justice every time. But every time you fight for your justice, you trade your peace for it. And people have won so much justice in the home, they have no peace left. They've won all the battle. It took me 7 years of marriage to realize I would rather be at peace than be right. You see, it took me 7 years of marriage to realize I would rather be at peace than be right. You see, because the articulation for justice is always within reach. But the experience of peace is the compromise of that engagement. So you have to decide what you want, justice or peace. If you want peace, you have to learn to grow to ignore, to take your eyes off mistakes and error. Because the same standard you hold people to, you have to hold yourself to it. You are as flawed as any human being. And when you learn to appreciate your own frailty as a human being, it is better to empathize with those who struggle with their own as well. Stop holding people down to your rules. I say it every time. What is easy for you to do should not be confused for what is easy to do. Some things are not easy to do, but they are easy for you. Because of your grace, because of your experience, your upbringing, or whatever, makes it easy for you. It doesn't make it an easy thing. It is you it is easy for. And when you hold your staff, your neighbors, your team, your wife, your children, you hold them accountable to your standard. You are calling what is not easy because of the ease at which you do it. And that would be unfair in any relationship. Men do that a lot. I say that with due respect, to men.